Okay, here we are at Cricut Design Space in a new project screen, and we're going to design the sign now. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over to the left and click on the word shapes, and I'm going to ask for square. Okay, now we've already determined that the sign board is, we're going to unlock it. See the little lock down here? Right now this is a square, and any measurement I put in for the width, it's going to make the length the same. So I'm going to unlock it because I want to make a rectangle, okay? And up at the top here, I'm going to ask the width be 12 inches. And I want the width, the height, to be 5 inches. So that's the size of the board. Okay? So now I'm going to, let me just clear these notifications off of here. So now I'm going to put the wording on it. And I am going to go over here again and say text. And the first thing, the text box is opened down here. And I'm going to write wicked D. Okay. And I think I'm going to make that, that is sans, and I think I want it just that size. So let's move it. What I'm going to do first, I'm going to make this sign temporarily white so that my words will show up. Okay. So now I'm going to take this wicked and I'm going to move it up. Give me wicked. Move it up on the sign. Okay. And we're going to go back and do text again for next line. I'm going to do W-I, whoops, wait a minute. I don't want all caps. W-I-T-C-H-S space parking. And I think I've got two spaces here. Back up one. Okay. Which is parking. And I'll put that up here. And then I'm going to go back one more time for text and write all others will be towed. T-O, whoops, B. Oh, I didn't do that well. B. T-O-A-D. Aha. So let me just get rid of that. And we'll put this up here. Now that one doesn't quite fit. So I'm going to move it in a little bit. And then see if I can just, whoops, I don't want to move the sign necessarily. I think that's pretty good right there. Now, I'm going to make, I want the witch's parking to be a little bit of a different font. So I'm going up at the top here, and I'm going to highlight witch's parking, and I'm going to look for, let's see, and you see it's showing me a sample. I think I had American. Thunder outside. American text BT. That looks a little bit more like it's witchy. There you go. So I can make that just a little bit bigger actually. I think I could make that. There you go. So that looks pretty good. But now I want to see what it's really going to look like, so I'm going to take the sign and I'm going to change, get my X off. I'm going to take the sign and I'm going to, let me just see here. This wicked is going to be orange. This which is parking is going to be orange. And this all others will be towed is going to be orange. And then the sign is going to be black. So that will give you the idea of what it's going to look like. I think that looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to click on the sign, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I was going to get rid of it, but if I want to save this so I can use it another time, I'll have the sign already there and it'll show the right size. So what I'm just going to do is come over to the right, and I'm not sure you can see over here. We'll move you over just a little bit, and I'm going to click on the word make it. Now it's sorting everything to a mat by color. And the first mat you see, there you go, there's two mats there. And the first mat you see is the black one. I'm not going to cut the black, that's the sign, the wooden sign. So I'm going to switch to the orange. And I already have some vinyl, orange vinyl, on a mat, which I'm going to go now and place into the Cricut machine. When you place vinyl in the Cricut machine, when you put it on your mat, you put it with the vinyl up. There's vinyl and there's a backing. And you put it with the vinyl up. So let me just go, oops, I'm sorry I hit you, and see if I can get this to cut. I'm going to press continue, and it's going to this says one of them is too big, so it's going to automatically put it to the right size. So I'm going to just wait for that to identify my machine. I'm going to load the mat, put my dial on cut. Now, I'm going to take you briefly over there, and I'll zoom you in. And you can see that it is cutting. I'm hoping it's going to work because this piece of vinyl had been in a box and it got quite wrinkled, as you can see by the bottom of it curled up. I think I have enough of it flattened out to make it okay. So we'll come back over here, and you can see on the screen, it'll focus in a second, that it says there's 27% of it cut. So it's still cutting. I'm going to let it continue to cut, and I'm going to bring you back and we'll show you how we get it off the mat and put it on the sign. So we'll be right back. Okay, now the next thing we have to do is get the vinyl separated from the back, or get it off of here. But the first thing I'm going to do is just try to cut some of this vinyl away, because I'm not going to use this whole sheet, and it's difficult to handle when you've got the vinyl on too big of a piece. And there's nothing on this part. Okay. So now I'm going to take, I use my X-Acto knife. There are things called weeders that you can use it, but I use the X-Acto knife. And what I'm going to do is pick up the corner of the vinyl and begin to peel away. And I'll put my hand on this side so you can perhaps see it. Maybe I can zoom you in just a little bit. Let me see. Here we go. That's right about there. All right, what I'm doing is peeling away the vinyl, and it's going to leave the letters on the backing. You see, that Cricut is quite an amazing machine, because these two pieces were on there together, and yet it only cut the vinyl on the top and did not cut the piece on the bottom. I didn't pick this up. Oh, let me get the rest of this off first. Then we'll go back with the weeder. And we'll see what we have. Now it's going to be a little challenging to put this on the sign, for the simple reason that it did not print it in the order that I typed it. So I'm going to have to put one piece on and not get the others on. This is the longest process here. Okay, now we'll go back and we have to weed. And what I might do is I will start you with the weeding, and then I will turn off the camera and finish it off camera, because it's a fairly slow process, and this has got some particularly small areas to be weeded out. So you see, I'm using my X-Acto knife just to get the corner of the sections that need to be weeded out. And these letters may look cute on the screen, but they're a challenge because they've got all of these inside pieces. Let me see. I think there's a piece right in here. be a challenge to transfer, let me tell you, because those lines are very fine. So there's the W, I, T, C, H, apostrophe S. So you can see the witches. Okay, I'll do the parking and then I will finish the rest of this off camera because it's a lot of little pieces to come out, and we'll move on to the next step. And one of the hardest things when you do this is to get the little pieces of vinyl off your fingers. P-A, the R looks okay. There's one in the K. I-N is okay. And one in the G here. Okay, I think that's all of those. So let me go along and get the rest of these off, and I will weed it out, and I will be back in just a minute. Okay, now you can see it. It's been weeded out, and that's what it looks like. So the next step, this is the backing. The next step is to put a transfer sheet on the top. I'm using like clear shelf liner. There's the clearness here. And what I'm going to do, hopefully, first I think I'll measure it. I don't need quite all this piece. And I'll just cut it off here. The less extra stuff that you have to work with, the easier it is, okay? So now I'm going to find, I have it stuck to the mat, the edge of this transfer paper, hopefully. Okay, I have it here. So what I'm going to do is to take this off of the sheet, try to keep it as smooth as possible. I'm going to move the sign out of the way. I'll move this back, and I'm going to place it down on top of the lettering, trying not to get bubbles in it. Whoop. Okay, that looks pretty good. Now you need to take something with a pretty good edge, and you want to burnish this very well. What I'm trying to do now is to have these letters disconnect from the white sheet underneath and get stuck to this clear sheet. The credit card works well. I don't have my pocketbook in here, or I'd use one. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is to lift this up and hopefully transfer these letters to this plastic, and sometimes it's difficult to get them going. Nope, not yet. And it's difficult to get it stuck. And you know, this doesn't work the first time all the time. You sometimes have to go back again and do it again. I think I made kind of a bad move with this font on the letters. It does not want to release. Continue this and we'll move on to the next step in just a few minutes. Be back. Okay, I have it on the board. Now, what I did is I had to cut it apart because the words were not in the right place. So you can see it's still attached to the paper, and I'm going to now take it off, hopefully. And the way you do that is you kind of just go a little back and forth, and it should stick pretty well. It's easier to get it off the transfer paper than it is to put it on the transfer paper, because the back of the vinyl is sticky. Now there's the one with the hard font. Okay, now we'll get off the wicked. Here we go. Ta-da! Success! Here you go. Should get it straight for you. Came out pretty good. I think what I might do, I might get some purple paint and make just some dots or something, get a little purple color on it too, because there will be purple and green in the wreath. I'm not sure what color paints I have right now, but that's the process of making it. It's not nearly as difficult as I made it today. It was my fault. I just didn't burnish the letters good enough. And these were very intricate letters here in the middle, but they came out very good. Let me just see if I can get you right up close. And you can see how small those little lines are in there. Now, if you're from Boston, like I am originally, wicked's a really good word. We use it for a lot of things. So this is a wicked good sign about Wicked Witch parking. So let me just give you a couple of goodbye words. You didn't see me today. Not a terrible thing, but here I am. Wrong glasses. And here I am. So anyways, thanks for stopping by, and this is how you put words on a sign using vinyl and the Cricut. And you can do not just words, you can do silhouettes or anything that you can cut out of vinyl you can stick on a sign or on windows. There's all kinds of vinyl now. There is more vinyl in Michael's for the Cricut than there was paper to make scrapbooks. So I think you can always find what you're looking for as far as the vinyl to use in your Cricut machine. Enjoy the machine, and when my supplies come in, we'll put this wicked good sign on the Halloween wreath that we're going to make. So that's all for today. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll talk to you later. Everybody play nice now.